hoping for a winner and a better hotel charging experience than last time. And look at that, we're plugged in without blocking anything. This one is out of order, so that's really disappointing. And from what I can tell on PlugShare, these used to be Tesla wall connectors, so they're now Wallbox Pulsar Pluses. Let's see if this works without any activation. What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today, you're joining me in my F-150 Lightning. We are in Duluth, Minnesota, and we are beginning our journey back to Charlotte, North Carolina. Bethany, what have you thought of our road trip so far?
It's been good. It's been a lot of fun meeting new people.
What about compared to the Model Y that we did this similar trip in 2 years ago?
I mean, it's more spacious.
Is it more comfortable?
No.
Why is it not more comfortable?
The seats are stiff.
Okay. I like the seats personally.
But you like wooden seats and I like cushioned seats, so that makes sense.
Anyway, let me show you guys the route that we're heading, and then I'll give you guys a full tour of how the truck is loaded up once we get to our first stop. But we're in Duluth, Minnesota, charging up. We're on a level 2 that's charging at 15 kilowatt. So we're all the way up to 92%, which is going to set us up pretty well for today's journey. So we're charging here on ZEF Energy level 2 charging under a giant solar canopy. These are probably the least ADA compliant chargers I have ever seen in my life. For reference, I am 6'3", and the charger handle goes basically to my head. So that's definitely not ADA compliant. Let me just show you on the car scanner what we're getting. So I left the truck on. We're getting 12.2 kilowatt into the battery. We're at 115.98 kilowatt, so call it 116 kilowatt hour in the pack. 92% displayed and 86 actual SOC. Here we have our route for this initial leg. Since it is about noon, we're probably not going to go super far today, but I do want to get as far as we can, maybe to Madison or something. Also need to find a reasonable hotel, I guess, because I have not booked anything for tonight. But we're going to this Kwik Charge. So Kwik Trip with a K is big in Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe surrounding states, not 100% sure. But they have new NEVI chargers there. They're SK Signet 600 kilowatt cabinet, 400 kilowatt dispensers that I want to try out. They have NACS and CCS. There's also some Tesla options there. We're probably going to be mostly using Tesla on the way back to Charlotte. Probably 2 Mercedes chargers. Not 100% sure the route we're going to go for the whole drive, but this is leg 1, 151 miles to go. It's showing 22% arrival. We're going to be going through some probably pretty beautiful areas through kind of rural Wisconsin, which is going to be really nice. I don't think I've ever actually driven this route, maybe partially over time, but never this way. Normally, I would go 35 because I would be coming or going to Minneapolis, St. Paul, but since we're heading from Duluth to North Carolina, we're going the most straight southeast route, I guess, that we can, and let's get to it. So here we have the trip from the Duluth portion of the trip, so I'll go ahead and reset that, 239.2 miles. And then here you can see trip 2. So this is since we left North Carolina, 1,819 miles. And we're not gonna cross 60,000 miles on this trip, but we're gonna come pretty darn close. So we have probably about 1,200 miles, so we'll probably get to about 3,000 miles total on this road trip. have made it to the Chippewa Falls Kwik Trip. We have driven, let's see, 149.7 miles, 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Fairly low traffic, fairly high speed, so definitely the worst efficiency we've had so far. We arrived with 20% charge and we're at 1,969 miles driven so far on the trip overall. Let's get plugged in. We'll leave the truck running. I'm going to use Apple Pay probably to start it. So we're at 28.16 kilowatt hour in the pack and 20%, as I said. Let's see. So we've got 4 posts here. Put this on ultra wide. And I did back in. This site has NACS and CCS. So we've got, let's see, we've got SK Signet. These are SAMWU cables though. These are cooled. These should be 500 amp rated. Yep, 500 amp rated up to 500 kilowatt, which is a dumb rating because that's 500 amps at 1,000 volts, which will never happen. And then over here we have NACS, which are actually amphenol cables, which is interesting That's an interesting combination. These are 600 amp rated cables. So these are nice and light. Definitely a lot nicer and lighter than the Samwu cables on the CCS side. And then here we have the label. So these are a max of 500 amp output, 400 kilowatt. So let's get this started and then I'll show you the rest of the site. So you can download the Kwik Charge app, which looks like it's just the Drive's white label app. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. It's telling you to listen for the click when plugging in to make sure that it starts. So we're gonna hit, oh, I guess plug in first. So we'll do that. Let's flip open this tab. We'll plug in. We heard the click. So authorize using one of these methods. So RFID, mobile app, QR code. I don't see a QR code. Or tap down here. So these are NIAX credit card readers. So I will tap my card. Authorizing. Payment in progress. It's 45 cents per kilowatt hour. Payment made successfully. That's good. Let's see what shows on the screen. Communicating with your vehicle. I hear things happening. That EV6 should be pulling about 230 at most kilowatt hour, or kilowatt, not kilowatt hour. Communicating. These bollards are short in the front, tall in the back. Oh, I accidentally used the accessible stall. So there we go. Max kilowatt 400, max amps 500, max volts 1000. So it is showing the cost. So we're ramping up. Let's see what we see in the truck on my iPad. And so there we go. So we're getting max 500 amps, and we're getting the full power that we would expect. So that's fantastic. I think we're going to walk and grab some food around here. Maybe the Taco Bell or the Culver's over there. Let me show you the site overall. So here we have a 750 kVA transformer. We have the distribution panel here, which seems a little overkill, considering it's just a 600 kilowatt cabinet. I'm really not sure why they would design it like this. That is just screaming. And then here we have the power cabinet. So max of 500 amps per channel, so about 2,000 amps total. And then, so it has 4 channels input power, which is very interesting. Not sure why. And then max total channel 2,000 amp or 600 kilowatt. Here's the cabinet. So let's see if we can see a rating on here somewhere. Looks like 2,000 amps. We've got an emergency disconnect and there's a maintenance mode. So someone could just turn off the whole site. It looks like they're using the same fuel pump shutdown button there. Seems a little overkill to me. I would have probably just done a 600 amp disconnect or a much simpler cabinet than this massive thing. But this does also have the metering contained within it, probably due to utility requirements. Looks like Excel Energy here. So we're gonna let it charge up. Let's see if there's anything else on the screen. We do have a windshield washer, trash can. We've got air and vacuums over there. See if it shows anything else. We're pulling 499.5 amps. Does it show a graph or anything? No. So that's all we get here. 400 kilowatt. This is a nice site. So we're gonna charge up and get some food. Well, the truck was ready before we were. We ate Culver's. I took Bethany into Kwik Trip for the first time. What did you think of Kwik Trip? You're a Wawa lover.
Yeah. I'd say it's like a step below Wawa, but still nice and has a lot of fresh stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like a grocery store turned into a gas station versus a restaurant. Like, sub shop turned gas station, if you will, like Wawa kind of is. This one seems to be brand new since the charging is here. I mean, when I pulled up the satellite view to look at the charging, it was a dirt lot. So this is like a brand new site, including the grocery store and like everything around here. So I think this is an especially nice example of a Kwik Trip, but all of them, at least in my experience, it's been a while since I've been to a bunch of them, are quite nice. But 84% charge, it was ready before we were. I tried to leave at 80%, but I figured I'm getting everything set up, so I'll just leave it charging for a few minutes while I'm doing that. Let me show you the final stats, then we'll hit the road. We're heading to Madison, which is 187 miles away. Janesville, I think, is a bit too far to get to, but maybe if for whatever reason we're especially efficient, we'll be able to stretch it. We'll see. I'll push it if I can, but otherwise we'll stop there. I think we're going to end up getting a hotel in the Chicagoland area. And then I'll book that at the next stop. I haven't booked anything yet, but there's multiple options with reasonable point redemption. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And the 3 options I looked at all have charging. So hoping for a winner and a better hotel charging experience than last time. Let's get unplugged. So there we have it, 84%. I don't know why CarPlay doesn't want to connect. Let's go to Lightning. There we go. So this is the Tesla Supercharger. So voids charge, we like that. 2 hours, 48 minutes. So we'll basically hop on 94. I don't know why. We're going to go this way and then we'll go the other way. Well, 1 hour, 34 minutes. What? Oh, because it wants a charge? I don't know. We're going to get on the freeway in the most efficient manner possible, and then we'll go from there, which I think looks to be this way. Yeah, I think that looks the easiest. That's kind of the way that we came in, but we came in from up there. So we'll go down. I'll adjust it once we get going. We have 113 kilowatt hour in the battery. Pin temp stayed really nice. And then pack temp also very nice, but it's 78 degrees out. It's kind of overcast, so that helps a lot with the thermal performance. Let's see what it's like stopping on the charger. So we're up to 85% here, and it's still showing the max 500 amps, max 400 kilowatt. So that was a $40 charge. Yes, I do want to stop charging. So $40.01. That's a pricey stop. Luckily, the next Tesla Supercharger looks like it's 30 cents a kilowatt hour. So that's pretty nice. And then it's just back there. So I don't know how I could get a receipt if I wanted one. That's maybe not ideal. Let's see if maybe this shows. No, I can't even do anything on the NIAC. So maybe info, let's see. Oh, look at that. So it looks like here's how much energy has been dispensed here. So about 3.2 megawatt hour on CCS and 1.1 on NACS. Let's just look on the other ones. I'm curious now. So this one more CCS than NACS. This one seems to be pretty heavily utilized, almost 10 megawatt hour. And this one, 8.5 megawatt hour on CCS and 1.7 on NACS. So definitely a lot more CCS usage here than NACS, which is kind of interesting, but not all that surprising, considering that there are a few superchargers not that far from here. Let's get on the road, though. I don't want to waste any more time. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and let's get to it. Well, I got nav set properly, so we'll go south and then we'll get on to 94 East and then to the Milwaukee area past Wisconsin Dells. think we might actually go that way. I'm not sure why it's having us go around, but we'll see as we get closer. And it's projecting a 2% arrival there after 186 miles. Well, the car says we have 192 miles of range. We have 162 miles to go. And it really, really wants us to add a charging stop. And I'm going to keep hitting no. Showing 0% arrival. We have a bunch of bailout options if we need them, but we're just going to continue to go. have arrived in Madison, Wisconsin at 8%. We have driven 185 miles, 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and 2154 on the whole trip, and 334 miles so far today. Let's get activated. These are version 4 posts. I don't know what stall we're on. That's the downside, I guess, to being able to pull up to it. So it's 3D. It's raining. Ugh. $3D. Start charging. 30 cents kilowatt hour here. Really nice and cheap. There we go. This is a version 4 post site, so I don't need to block any stalls. I'll put this on there first because I don't believe it's a Magic Dock site. Let's see. Yeah, not a Magic Dock site. Those are the wimpiest bollards I've ever seen in my life. Just like that. And look at that, we're plugged in without blocking anything. Let's see, when we start charging, it's fairly cool at 75 degrees. We're charging. Let me screen record as I like to do on some of these charging sessions. Probably going to charge to, I don't know, I need to book at a hotel, I guess. And then go from there. Let's see what we peak out at. Looks like we're close to maxed out there, 162 kilowatt. We got pretty low pack voltage given how low state of charge we are. Think that's all she's gonna do right now. So that was a pretty uneventful leg. There was some rain on and off, definitely some traffic. Apple Maps thought we weren't going to make it at all, kept wanting to add a charger. I kept telling it no, and then we ended up arriving with 8% state of charge because traffic picked up a little bit as I expected as we got kind of more into populated areas. The rain and all that kind of just contributed to lower speeds as well, so efficiency was actually not terrible. I mean, still 1.8 or whatever I just showed, but better than I guess Apple Maps expected initially. So we'll charge up probably to 80%. I'm gonna book a hotel with charging anyway. And then I think this is going to be our last stop for today. Well, good news. We're charged up to 43%. We're still doing 128 kilowatts. Pin temps are staying nice and under 60 C, and the pack is staying relatively cool. The rain has toned down a little bit, and I have booked the Fairpoints by Marriott, Schaumburg, Chicago, whatever. It's 122 miles away. What is that face? And we're going to charge to 80%. That way we don't arrive to the hotel dead, because we saw how that went last time with hotel charging. Good thing we didn't arrive dead there, but I'd rather not be reliant on on hotel charging. Looks like they have 2 wall boxes as far as I can tell that we might have to pay $10 a night to use, but I guess we'll find out when we get there, and hopefully it works. Otherwise there's lots of charging in Chicago. So let's go inside the store, see if we can grab some food, and hopefully it doesn't start raining again. We went into Goodman's, I think it's called. Got some snacks and stuff. Bethany is now eating a sandwich. It's very strange. They only accept debit, EBT, and Discover for credit card of all things, which is very odd. So good thing Bethany had a Discover, because I don't normally use Discover. Just about done charging. We're at 78%. I set my one-time limit to 80%. We're still doing 120 kilowatts, so it's just been holding flat after the initial boost and then gradual ramp down. Let's see how long we've been charging. We have been charging for, let it refresh, 39 minutes. We've added 90.5 kilowatt hour to get to 78% from 8%. So that's really good. We just dipped down to 57 kilowatts as it hit 80%. should be finishing here any moment now. Let's just see. And there you can see 41 minute, 94.7 kilowatt hour added. So charge to set level, let's unplug. Just finished. I'll come back and take that, or shut that. Let's see if I can do this. I was able to do that one-handed. There are adapters in there, but they're not active, which is really dumb. Tesla keeps doing that on version 4s for whatever reason. They have magic docks, but they are not active. Got my adapter. Put that back there. So charge history, let's just see, 95 kilowatt hour. So 8 to 80 in 42 minutes. Pretty happy with that. Not delete, don't want to delete that. Let's see if CarPlay will, let's turn the truck on. There we go, CarPlay. Should load nav, there we go. So, yep, I want to go that way. Now we're 42 minutes, 122 miles. We'll get there about 8:15. Let's do it. We'll arrive at 27%. And then hopefully, assuming the charging works as it should, we will charge to 100% overnight, or at least close to it. Well, we've made it to our destination for day one. 121 miles driven, 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour. We've arrived with 23% with 31.5 kilowatt hour in the battery. Let's see if we can get charging. There's a sign here that says, approach the front desk to activate the charger. We'll see if that's actually true. This one is out of order, so that's really disappointing. And from what I can tell on PlugShare, these used to be Tesla wall connectors, so they're now Wallbox Pulsar Pluses. Let's see if this works without any activation. Maybe. So they are 48 amp. So let's see, what does it say? Charging station pause. So it looks like we do in fact have to somehow activate this charger. But yeah, let's get checked in and try to avoid the rain that we drove through on the way here. But we're at the 4 Point Sheraton by Marriott in Schaumburg, which is Chicagoland. My parking job is actually better than I expected it to be, so can't complain too much there. Let's go inside and get checked in. Oh, and let's see if any water got in the bed driving through intense rain. And looks like the answer is no. Maybe like a couple drops, but I think that was more from opening it than from actually driving. All checked in. Got to the hotel here. We have queen beds because that's what was available for points redemptions, but could be worse. Pretty nice room overall, I'd say. About on par with our room last night. Not as nice of a view, though. But you can see my truck right down there through the bush. A little bit. There we go. Well, after figuring out that the chargers were limited to 6 amps, which is basically useless and basically a wall outlet, I decided to talk to the front desk. They let me play around in the Wallbox like admin portal thing. It seemed that the load management was not configured between the one that I was plugged into and then the one that was down, or it was dependent on the one that was down, which was causing it to default to 6 amp output rather than the 48 amp that it should have been doing. I did some digging. It looks like on Google Maps they used to have Tesla wall connectors here, so it's really a shame that they ripped out what was, I assume, perfectly good Tesla charging that was free and reliable and put in absolute garbage chargers and didn't configure them properly and haven't maintained them, because it sounds like the one that's down has been down for over a month. Anyway, after talking to the front desk more, I moved over to the hotel next door, or at least moved my truck over there. They have the same configuration, 2 of the Wallbox Pulsar Pluses, but at least theirs seem to be configured properly, maybe. But I'm getting at least 5.5 kilowatt there rather than the 1.2 kilowatt I was getting here. So I don't know, maybe those are set up at 32 amp, but I wasn't sharing, but it's at least better. Anyway, we'll see what we end up with in the morning. That will be in part 2 of this video. This is just part 1. But if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.